Manny, and today we're talking about the first page of the comic I made for my art project that I did, which I got a really, really good grade for, and I'm really happy. So this first page is Exposition, and it's a flashback. That's why the panels are all wobbly. Yeah. I got this inspiration for the comic from a comic of another student that also made a comic for their project, and in their flashback they had wobbly panels, and I was like, oh my god, that's so smart. So I did that too. So that's a tip I recommend, like reading a lot of comics, even if they're not about the same thing as your subject matter, which her comic was about a pirate. Well, she becomes a pirate later, but she becomes a pirate to avenge her dead brother and fight the sea monster, which has a gem that her brother was after. Nothing to do with my comic, but the art gave me a lot of things that I wanted to replicate, things that I absolutely did not. So I always read a lot of variety of comics when you wanna make a comic, because you never know where you can find the inspiration. You never know. So the Exposition, it's in French, but the story is, I'm gonna read you and translate you the things that I read in. Having to stay underground when the humans had all the space that they wanted, the demons prayed to be free and to obtain what they deserved. And one day, he appeared. The god of destruction, son of the god of death, and the demon of deception. He recruited them for a war against the humans to get territory. That is basically the exposition we get out of this. And something that this panel that I'm currently coloring, the camera was black at first, in the first sketches, because I did 3 sketches. First, a very quick storyboard to know how the panels would be laid out. Then I did what I thought would be the clean version, but I didn't like how it looked. It was not detailed enough. It was... You could see everything. You could see that the place is near water, but it was not useful for the moment. And what you want to see out of this exposition is that the demons are in the ground and the humans are up there living their life. And the demons are really angry about it and wants to break free. So zooming in on this action, which is what this is about, is the point. And you discover later anyway, on a better time, that the town is surrounded by water. So it's not important. So we can just scratch that and zoom in on the action. So that's a tip I recommend, is not jumping in and really focusing on what you want to show and just scrap what's not important and use it later on a better time when it's useful for what you want to show. Another thing I did is with the color palettes. You will notice that the humans are all with lighter colors, more pastel, more washed out. whereas the demons and the god of destruction are very dark and desaturated colors, except for one character, which is he's an Easter egg that will appear later, and there's a lot of backstory for why, but I won't tell you the backstory, but I will tell you the Easter egg, because I will, but I won't explain the Easter egg, and it's gonna be fun. So there is this one demon next to the god of destruction who has half desaturated colors. All the purple are desaturated, but he has light pink in his design too, very pastel pink, and this will be important later. As for the rest of the panels, showing that everything was fine before the god of destruction appeared as a sun, there's cloud and it becomes darker, and there's clouds and then it's even darker when he's here. It's pretty standard, but it shows what needs to be shown pretty well. And also for the crackings, that's something that I also recommend, is when there's something you're not sure how to draw. For example, later I have a lot of scenes of Andra, one of the main characters, with a bow shooting arrows, and I don't have a good idea of what it looks like, so I used reference. Same for those cracks. I used reference on how a cracked ground looks like. I saw reference of it in real life, of people cartoonifying it, and when I had a good understanding on how it looks, I drew it myself without referencing too much my examples, but like that I had a good grasp on making it look like it's in the place it is, and not like it's just a drawing on the floor. Like really, it feels like a part of the world. Really, there's a whole underworld, and that's pretty important. So reference are your friends. Tracing is bad, but not referencing to understand art better. You don't have to be scared of referencing. If you really are too scared that you're going to copy it, use multiple references. And maybe like look at them and then close them when you're drawing, if it helps, is your mind. But really look at reference. It helps so much to make your art look better, because you have a better understanding of how things are supposed to look like. Yeah, those are my tips for the page 1. The tips that I got from the page 1. And I'll see you in the next video about page 2. So, yeah. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.